Morning, Laws.
Morning, Mike.
Dragging me out of bed at 4:45 this morning. Exciting day today.
Exciting day. Mikey's come up for a whole day of mapping. My car has a 3-litre V6 Omega engine and Mikey's has a 3.2 Omega V6 engine.
I was inspired by Laws here with the work that he did. And he sold me his spare engine. Well, I badgered him for about 2 years to sell it.
He's got a slightly lower compression ratio, but a slightly bigger capacity.
It's LPG and petrol, and the LPG certainly seems to have fallen off the radar lately. Petrol seemed okay, but it was mapped a few years ago, but we only had half a map really. The guy kind of went out of time, so this will be an interesting day, and you know, if I can sort of get into the low 200s, I'll be happy.
So we're going to do a power run on gas and a power run on petrol, and we're going to see what it's making, what our start point is, and sort of get an idea how much more we can squeeze out of it for the rest of the day. So here's the initial run on petrol. You can see 235 horsepower, and I was a little bit disappointed because Mikey sort of thought there was more in it, you know, and I thought this is probably it. But you'll see later in the video we did find some more. Here's the LPG. You can see it's nowhere near the right shape. The torque curve clearly has two huge craters in the middle of it, so there's a lot of work we can do to improve the gas. We started tuning the cars, fueling on petrol with power runs, making changes between runs and recording the lambda on a power run. We've been doing a little bit of mapping now. We found it to be quite a lumpy line in the lambda in the fueling, so we've been gradually working it flatter, trying to get it to around about 0.85.
Even though it's sort of flat and then lumpy, that's actually how the engine's working. So something's going on here where it's needing a lot more fuel suddenly.
So we switched to the sort of live mapping method where we have the brake holding the engine RPM and then working up and down the load just using your throttle pedal, you know. So we got up to 4,000 revs and then it started to get quite time consuming because the engine's obviously producing so much heat then. It's a fairly good time to switch to power runs again. But we did pursue it further up. We got to about 5,000 or maybe 4,500 I think with live mapping. But it's better, it's more accurate. You can just hold it in position and get the fueling right. So the first and very important thing to do is take the engine to peak torque RPM, have the rolling rod hold it there, foot flat to the floor, hold the RPM there, and then listen on the deck can. So we've got a steady state, lots of heat being generated, and that's the conditions under which the engine is most likely to detonate. So you'll hear it on the deck cans. We advanced the timing a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more until I heard detonation on the deck cans. So when I begin to hear that, I know we need to back it off. And it's interesting, my Scimitar seemed to be detonation limited, so I got to a certain point, the torque kept going up, adding more spark timing, but I reached a point where I could hear detonation, so I had to back it off a little bit. Whereas Mikey's here, with the lower compression ratio, it isn't doing it. We've reached a point where we still can't hear detonation, but the torque is dropping off, so we can reach the best torque spark position. We've noticed though the intake air temperature is going up and up and up, so that is having an effect on power. It wouldn't really matter with the fueling because you're chasing a lambda to get the fueling right, but now we're chasing torque figures, we're altering timing for torque figures. We need those torque figures to be consistent, so as the intake air temperature has gone up, the torque being produced has gone down, so it's skewing our results. So I have arranged the fan in a different way now, so we don't need the cooling fans on the side of the car now, cooling the exhaust. So these Scimitars have exhausts. They have exhausts right here under the footwell, you see, and this area gets very hot and you can start to smell the fiberglass melting. So I've had the fans here, which has been working really well, but now we're switched back to power runs. The exhausts aren't getting anywhere near as hot, but the intake air temperature is getting hot. So we've dropped the bonnet so it's not in the sun, and you can see here I've got a fan pointing directly in there, and I can put my hand in and sort of see where the airflow is going. It's going right around the back of the plenum, so it's actually working really well. So the intake air temperature on Mikey's is in the back of the plenum here, so I'm hoping that will drag the temperature down, and if we can get it to stay the same, it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it's staying the same, then we can get repeatable results, if you see what I mean, and compare one spark timing to another. So here you can see in no particular order 5 different power runs, and I think we had maximum of 6 degrees timing changes across those. About an additional 5 horsepower across these runs, but with this one on we did I don't know, 20 runs or something. But yeah, you can actually see the 248 was the peak power we made on petrol. So pretty good improvement over the 235 he started with. And probably something like half of that was with fueling improvements, and half of it was with ignition timing, messing around with the ignition timing, you see. So we also did, as I think I said earlier, we did a lot of mapping in the low RPM, light throttle for fueling and a little bit for spark, so it improved his MPG somewhat. So after an afternoon of hurried mapping, or really an evening of hurried mapping, we did manage to get through quite a bit of the LPG, and what a result as well. Went from 223 horsepower up to 245 in this. So yeah, really massive improvements. You can see the torque curve is in much better shape now as well. We've got rid of those craters, and it runs beautifully. And yeah, so Mike felt that he drove the thing home on gas and was over the moon about it, which was fantastic to hear. He was really excited. He's always excited, as you can tell.
Well, what an incredible day, Loz.
I'm absolutely knackered.
So we started off with 210 on LPG. And what did we get up to?
We got 235 on gas, didn't we?
Yeah, no. We got 244 to start.
Yeah, we did see a 244.
And then we started changing a few things. It went back down, but that was just ambient stuff.
Yeah, I think that was noise rather than us. But yeah. And then on petrol, 248 is the best. Yeah. So you can say 250 really.
248. I'm happy with that. But it's been a very hot day here, so the heat has been a little bit of a challenge, getting heat soak everywhere, and that's affecting
keeping the car cool. Yeah.
But what a fantastic result.
And it's exhausting, and it's close to 7 o'clock now, so we've been at it 12 hours.
12 hours. 12 hours. I said we had a couple of challenges, but we did try very hard.
With the petrol map, we did full load fueling and part load fueling, so the whole map was good. And then ignition, we did full load ignition, and we got it as good as we can get it. And then LPG, we just did full load fueling and full load ignition.
Because basically we had some time, not time, but we
kind of ran out of time.
And I said with the challenges that we had around it,
that's right.
We'd make advance, and then there'd be half an hour trying to fix something or whatever.
I think this is pretty normal for mapping, really.
What a fantastic result! Thank you.
Well, thanks for bringing it up. You've come a long way.
Good deal, yeah.
You got a long way to go now. Thanks for watching, folks.
Totally recommend it.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, cheers.
So this graph shows the power and torque at the top and the fueling at the bottom from start to finish. So the first run on the first day and the last run mapping fueling anyway on the second day. So it's only full throttle fueling. So you can see the dotted line there is the fueling that the car was running on when it turned up on petrol. So a little bit all over the shop. Eventually we got there with it, and you can see we've got the fueling between 0.85 and 0.9 pretty much all the way up, which is a nice position to be in. 0.88 being optimum for peak power. We did have a little bit of wandering in, I think it was in the map sensor really, so Mikey's going to look into that and change it probably. But that's I think the reason why we couldn't get it absolutely flat. Obviously these things take time as well, but that's a pretty acceptable fueling line there. It's pretty good. And it got him his best result, 251 horsepower. So he is over 250 horsepower on an accurate rolling road. So really chuffed with that. A cracking couple of days we had, it was brilliant.